Good morning. It's a good that number is small. I have to have less questions. On the other side, it would have been better to have more people. Gurus are always welcome, you see, as far as learning points are concerned. So more faculty, better it is. I'm DC Mishra, Deputy Director General at National Informatics Center. I did my formal degree in physics, MSc Physics in '83 from Christ Church College, Kanpur, and subsequently I did my MTech in Computer Science from JNU. Okay, and got married with the Government of India, and the bride was National Informatics Center. Okay, and the marriage is going on happily thereafter. I really enjoyed.
These are 76.
No problem. My background is I hail from rural area. Okay. So incidentally, in the National Informatics Center also, when I was assigned the first project, it was sponsored by Ministry of Rural Development, and then those days I'm talking about '86. And there is an agency called District Rural Development Agency, DRDA. Still it is there. And that is the body which coordinates rural development programs in the district. It's being implemented by BDOs, all the poverty alleviation schemes. But the coordination is done at the top level, at the district level. An idea was to computerize them. And the instrument in our hands were PC80-286 processor, DOS 3.0, DBase 3 plus environment, plus subsequently it was strengthened by Clipper. A Clipper sort of compiler. DBase was an interpreter-based system, and the Clipper was sort of a compiler put on top of the DBase. So it was giving you EXE because we didn't want to give source code to the people as last. That was the place where I began. And across the country in '86, the computers were given, printer was given by Ministry of Rural Development, and the software was provided by NIC. Idea was that at district level data should be captured, a minimum MIS kind of thing should be maintained so that the district level monitoring, planning reports can be. And it was the same time, and this was the result of computer policy declared by the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, new computer policy, which really gave a fillip to the entire movement. At least in this aspect, he must be considered a visionary, his entire team, that they could foresee the things which were coming, and India should not be left behind. So entire computer policy was generated, and many departments, the NIC set up the computer centers at district level, state level, and obviously we have a walking distance away from here, our headquarters. Today we are 3,000 plus people. We have 3,000, and this is the technical manpower. We recruit people at the BSc, PGDCA level, which comes as an assistant programmer. We take programmer level people, which are fresh BTech or MCAs. We don't have lateral entries at the senior level. So assistant programmer becomes systems analyst, becomes senior systems analyst. Systems analyst and above is class 1 post, group A post. And principal systems analyst, then technical director, then senior technical director, and then Deputy Director General and Director General. So this is the technical hierarchy in which we operate. We have the centers in all the state in union territories, and the strength of the deployment could be based on the operations in that state. So UP might have 100 people in Lucknow, but the other state may have 25 people only based on the project. But the minimum strength will always be there, even if it is Mizoram, Nagaland, or anywhere. 10 to 15 people will be always there. We have 2 people in every districts of the country. right? They are known as DIO, DIA, District Informatics Officer, and his designation could be anything, but the functional designation is he is known as District Informatics Officer, District Informatics Assistant. So considering 600 districts, we have 1200 people in the field, and for field means it's a district and at the state level, and remaining people are at headquarters, makes to around 3,000 people. We have very flexible policy of the promotion, a special policy that then initiated under the same policy. It's known as a flexible component scheme. Department of Atomic Energy, Space, Earth Sciences, Biotechnology, NIC, all they are covered under this promotion. I mean, it's not a cadre base that you need to have a whole to get a promoted, not necessary. But we face interview, very strict interview. Some of the faculty members from the IITs and other universities participate in it. The Vice Chancellor, depending on the grade for which you are being considered. So we have a heavy involvement of the faculty from engineering colleges as far as our performance appraisal is concerned. Coming back to the situation, so this is my organization, and we did ASEAD, Games computerization, Commonwealth, we do election, we do counseling. Most of you must be aware, and majority of state, it's NIC does the counseling. This year IIT has sent the request. Last year we did GMain, and now G Advanced also will be done by NIC. So we have formed a reputation. We were doing passport, we were doing the many other projects in the Government of India. My own division in NIC, we have groups dedicated to respective ministries. My division, which I head, deals with Ministry of Rural Development and Ministry of Panchayati Raj, Tribal. So anything pertaining to the rural area is likely to be addressed by us. There will be so you take Mahatma Gandhi Narega program, you take old age pension, you take PMGSY road, you take Indira Awas Yojana, drinking water, sanitation, land record, property registration, watershed, forest rights, Panchayat Yuva Khel and Krida Abhiyan, anything and everything to do with the rural area is likely to be answered 99.99% by us as far as ICT is concerned. Similarly, you have groups in NIC dealing with education. Similarly for the commerce, agriculture, all kind of ministries. So our job is to extend the ICT support to these ministries at the state, and similarly at the Government of India level. Similarly at the state level, we have few people dedicated for Rural Development Department of Uttar Pradesh or Rural Development Department of West Bengal, Panchayati Raj Department, and they vertically report to us. Administratively, they report to their own bosses. The chief of NIC in a state is known as a State Informatics Officer. So this is how we operate. We have exclusive networking division. We were the first in the country to use VSAT C200 based C-band antenna, C-band systems, and we put up the VSAT based system in this part of the world way back in '86. Using C-band frequency, we connected. Subsequently, we moved on to the SCPC, single channel per carrier, and then we moved to KU band, and today we operate KU and KA both. Okay, there are issues with, but because these were the initiative taken because the terrestrial communications were very weak, and we had to interconnect all the district collector's office. So you walk in any district collector's office, you will find NIC Computer Center, and they are all connected. Those days it was connected with C-band, subsequently KU band, subsequently SCPC, but now they are all connected with, because now we have Power Grid, RailTel, all kind of people laid down a lot of fiber and they are connected. Okay, I'm sure some of you may be aware, but I'm just giving you a window view how strong we are up to at district level in terms of connectivity, in terms of computing, in terms of manpower. The idea is to help the district administration in their local assignment. So there are some software solutions which are common across the country. right? MG Narega, PMGSY, e-procurement, Indira Awas Yojana, all these are made in Delhi. The requirement is captured at district level, so it's a collaborative development which happens within NIC. Okay, every state picks up the SRS, makes the SRS based on their ground realities, in consultation with the client at the state level or at district level. They make their functional requirement specification, they give it to the Delhi, we will consolidate here, discuss with the ministry and come out with a generic SRS, and then the software development takes place primarily at the central government level, at Delhi, in NIC Delhi. 10 years back, we were doing entire software development, 90% software development in-house. In the sense of our own manpower, programming assistant, programmers, systems analysts, they were designing the systems. But subsequently, the investment which we did from 86 to 95, early days when people used to look at me when my hairs were not white, oh, this is a computer fellow, he has come, and they won't bother. Be it any district in the country, rarely they will listen to you. They'll say that he is trying to teach us how to do information management or data management. तो उनके लिए एक किनारे का काम था, and you were largely, we were ignored. But there was a tacit, implicit capacity building, awareness campaign which was going on, which started paying the result, and demand suddenly was shooting off from 95 onward, right? Fortunately, the dot-com, the peak was also emerging at the same point of time. So we also had to change our strategies of the software development, and we started involving private entrepreneurs, private empaneled vendors, and today we take in any project, it will be a 1:8 ratio. If we have one person, permanent person, faculty of permanent employee of NIC, there will be 8 people from the empaneled agencies, private market. This is the rough ratio which we have come upon. And this has been going on. So we have in our board, we have Mindtree, we have TCS, we have CMC, we have KPMG, we have ENY, we have PwC, all kind of, you name all kind of big wigs and smaller players, CyberQ, who do body shopping kind of thing, those players also there, data entry agencies are there. So for all purpose, training agencies are there, all kind of purpose. So we have a full portfolio of empaneled vendor helping us out. And whenever we have a money, usually our money comes from the concerned ministry, Ministry of Rural Development or ministry. If they give us the turnkey project, they give us the fund, we submit the proposal to them. So it could be 5 crore, it could be 10 crore, it could be 15 crore, 50 crore, 100 crore, depending on the size of project. They give it to us. So this is the model which is operating. So take the case of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. When it was launched in 2005, government immediately contacted us that you come out with end-to-end e-governance system, right from Gram Panchayat to Block Panchayat, which will be operated by citizen, Gram Panchayat, Block Panchayat, Zilla Panchayat, state government, and the government of India, for fund management, for job registration. I don't know, some of you may understand, any needy family can demand 100 days of employment from the Gram Panchayat. That's a bottom line objective of the Narega. So anybody in the rural area can approach Gram Panchayat and say that, look, I am going for starvation, you have to give me the job. So he can go and ask, and they will register him, they will give him a job card like a passbook. All family members' details will be entered, and he'll be given within 10 days. For that, government should be ready with the self-help projects. कहाँ काम होना है, कितनी cost है, कब काम हो सकता है, rainy season, winter season and all. And subsequently, if it is a female worker, she has to be provided a different kind of facilities, crutch has to be orange, all kind of things are there. Now government wanted that we should have an information system which should capture all the milestone events of the Narega. We did that, and today it's operational across the country. You can go on to narega.nic.in. We get 1 gigabyte data per day. We have 30 servers in Pune, Hyderabad, Delhi data centers, replica at disaster recovery at Hyderabad. I'm just giving you, before coming to the main point, where are our hurdle point, so that you can take them in the real sense, the way I'm trying to. So we must describe the range of operation. And this is one project I'm saying. Similarly is Indira Awas Yojana, similarly is old age pension, PMGS by e-procurement, watershed, land record. Land record is started in 88 and still it is going on. The land records, if you're owner of the land, your records are kept at tehsil level in the rural areas. Every tehsil has been given a computer, they have been given connectivity, the records are digitized. But one-time digitization of records is not adequate. Because the mutation keeps happening. You sell the land, you inherit the land, you mutate the land. So land mutation may happen because of various reasons. So today it is a 2-acre land, it will get divided, 2 sons are there, 2 daughters are there, 4 pieces, again they sell. All these things have to be captured. Now selling and purchase happens at the registration office and the land record is maintained at tehsil. There are 2 different systems, they need to be interlinked. So all kind of address thing we issue. Now while we are doing all this, and we quite often go abroad also, and we see how things are happening there, we find that the industry is very strongly linked. If not in a day-to-day e-governance project, but at least in the key productization effort, innovation effort wherever we do. We do innovation within an IC. And by loose definition of innovation, anything which changes the ROI value, return of investment is increased, it is innovation. Webster defines it that way, right? So if you're doing something with the manual and you prepare information system solution, you have obviously changed the way of doing work. It is innovative effort and it should be qualified, but then there is a higher degree of innovation. I'll give you one example. Recently we did with the service delivery. You must be hearing this buzzword, this state government giving health certificate, death certificate, caste certificate, residency certificate, income certificate. You can apply online and they will give you certificate online probably, or you will have to collect publicly or by going there. But behind the scene, very ugly scenario is there, let me tell you, not in governance, even in technology. I'm sharing more technology angle with you because you'll be able to appreciate that. UP is developing a birth certificate module, Bengal is developing, Assam is developing, Kerala, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, everybody is developing a birth certificate. And the process of generating a birth certificate, a process flow involved is 90% same. But still we have 25 modules of birth certificate in country, 25 modules of death certificate. So what I'm saying, everybody is reinventing the wheel. Can you imagine now the duplicate effort which is going on? Because there is nobody wants to wait. The mad rush is to develop the software. There are obvious interests involved in the state government also to do that. So what we do, we studied all the modules of all the service deliveries done so far and all the BPR, and we produced a package called Service Plus, right? Serviceonline.gov.in. This is a metadata driven. This is a SaaS application service. This is a multi-tenancy application where anybody can come and define its service by configuring it the way we configure PowerPoint, the way we configure the MS Word for our need. You can configure, but you don't have to write a single line of code. The same source code behaves as per the metadata defined by you for health service of the Uttar Pradesh differently from the health service of Bihar differently, for death certificate of. So these are the higher degree of innovation. There could be further higher degree of innovation, right? So now we have a single package which is multi-tenancy, single source base. UP can use it, Madhya Pradesh can use it, all states can use it, Panchayat can use it, ULBs, municipality. Now this innovation in India is lacking, not only in government, even in private sector. You have Infosys, pride of the country, TCS, pride of the country, CMC, pride of the country. You name Cognizant, many, I mean, they are indigenization version, but they're all doing offshore development project. Finacle is the only one product from Infosys which has come as a product. But how many more products you hear from India? But we are flooded by the products from Adobe, from Microsoft, from IBM, from everybody which are coming from abroad. 15 days back, we had a delegation from IBM. IBM recently acquired a company called Khurram. It's a Scottish company, and they were developing something, they're trying to develop something which is very similar to Service Online, Service Plus. And they gave us the demonstration, and then they said that we want to sell it to you. I said, okay, fine. We had 10-15 people from NIC. I said, I'll demonstrate you something. Okay, and we demonstrated something. Right? They had defined some service for Australia, Queensland. I said, how much time it took? They said 15 days in customizing the Khurram software to deliver that service. I said, tell me the specification. They had designer, and we did it in 10 minutes. 10 minutes on the fly, the service. And then host of other services we showed. Maharashtra has defined 21 services. 21 services in hardly 10 days time, because they were not clear. India, things are different. The clerks are not clear what is the business. They carry in their head, aisa karna hai, aisa nahi hua to aisa. But if you ask them explicitly and descriptively, they will fail to write the same thing. Okay, many things all of you do at home, but you do it unconsciously because they are result of a reflexive action. But when the student in the beginning, first year, is asked to make a flow diagram, or even to make a tea, he fumbles. Karna kya hai? Chai to ban jayegi bhai na? Ban jayegi. He takes time. And I was in the first year, the first time, of course in MTech you don't teach, but I had come from MSc physics background, and the teacher asked in the first lecture, okay, how did you come from hostel to the class? And we said, we came by, he said, just write these steps. And it took time to realize the level of thinking what he was demanding. We need, and when I was talking to these guys, I must appreciate the initiative taken by them, but it has to be taken. There is an urgent need at the college level. We have, I'm telling you one project, e-Panchayat. See, Government of India has identified mission mode project, 27 or some now 30 mission mode project. E-Panchayat is one of the mission mode project. Now in our country, we have 2,40,000 gram panchayats. UP alone has got 52,000, 2,42,000 or 50,000 gram panchayats in our country. Government wants to provide computing facility to them, right? There are states, Kerala, Karnataka, Gujarat, West Bengal, Assam, they've already given computer. Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat is already connected. Himachal has given computer, but no connectivity. It will take time. There is another project which is being spearheaded, NOFN, National Optical Fiber Network, which aims to connect all the gram panchayats by 2014, 10,000 in number and subsequently. So the government is conversing on gram panchayat, fair enough, but is our MBAs, MTech, BTech or DC Mishra, I may have visited 200 districts in the country. My team may have visited 100 districts in the country, but how many of our MBAs from ENY, KPMG or MTech or BTech are willing to go to Ghaziabad next to our Bulandshahr and spend 10 days to do SRS at the block level? They will run away. Their upbringing has not been done in such an insensitive and the hazardous background geographically, right? We need people. Now fortunately we are blessed with the thousands of engineering colleges spread across the country. We have a computer science, ECE, IT background in them. We may or may not have students. I presume that students are there. There are reports that the intake is reducing every year of the people opting for, but still I feel computer science will be always preferred destination. People will opt for it. We have infrastructure. On an average, a college will have a 40-seater computer center. I can take it safely. They will be modern. They cannot be more than 10 years old, 5 years old. They will be running, if first come with Vistas, if not the latest, they will have a lease line connectivity of some sort, right? With this, why can't I use them in e-Panchayat project to do my SRS for new module? I cannot go unless you sit with the end user, all of you if you are faculty, unless the specifications are clearer, unambiguous, no software will work. No software can be called. So we need people to go and do SRS. We need people to develop the software. Today I am totally dependent on and paying huge amount of money to these impaneled vendors. And still I had to be alert enough to do peer reviews, code reviews, and many other form of testing. Why can't I associate engineering college faculty and the students to involve them in this job partially or wholly? Either they do it themselves or they involve innovation, giving me better thinking, right? So these are the areas where we think there are ample opportunities there where this marriage can happen and must happen. And when these people met me, I said, it's a golden opportunity and you must take it forward. Take it at the senior level in the department of, we are linked to the Department of Information Technology. We have secretary there who is the overall administrative in charge. We have Minister, Honorable Kapil Sibbalji. So you have to scale. This is a grand marriage which must happen. And on the other end, when the student passes out from the BTech, from, I won't name the state, be it Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, anywhere, and they look for smaller stint at NIC because campus placement will not be done. And I must also take a little dig at the faculty. Faculty in engineering colleges are not very demanding from the students. It is just that they must score good marks in UP Tech, MP Tech, Rajasthan Tech, and this Tech. Okay, that is not. The fellow will come and he will not know normalization. He'll say, sir, do revise karna padega. I mean, the simplest question, if you ask them class, object, polymorphism, inheritance, he will just lose. If you ask them difference, I am telling you those questions which you ask themselves, BTech 4-year student, after they pass out and they come for some placement, that what is the ASCII code, what is the ISCII code, they would just glare at you. They have to come back again. He may or may not respond. So we take them, still we take them, and I'm telling you, on an average, when they work here for 1 year, forget about Spring, Struts, Java, higher platform, they would just not have any idea. Majority of it, 1 or 2 good one can be there. But when they work 1 year in Delhi with our team or similar teams, then they come at par with the IP University student. He is coming from rural India. His exposure has been limited. His body language speaks non-professional language. His English is not that. But these issues still can be taken away if he is strong in computer science. If he understands what is the memory management, what is the process management, what is happening at OS level, what is the page size, whether the page is segmentation or segmented paging. These are the higher concepts. So faculty also have to be. That reflects on faculty. That reflects adversely on faculty. Not that all of you are learned people, but given that we will always find 1 or 2 faculty in every engineering college good enough, why can't I associate them? Why can't a MOU be designed between the government agencies, not necessarily NIC alone, with the Department of Electronics for such marriage? I have told them that take it up, follow it up, make it and then it will be very good. I mean, all of us have a huge amount of work, trust me. And nobody is willing to go on tour in my team. I have 30 people in my team, permanent employee, and roughly 200 people on contract working. I do not know who is working for what. I only get to know, interact with the top 2 level next to me when the weekly appraisal takes place. This will also help my district level officers because they can do hand-holding with you. We have video conferencing. None of you need to travel to Delhi. I can have video conferencing, have a weekly appraisal on productization, on software development, on SRS. My state government client would be very happy that, look, they have come out with a model who goes to Gram Panchayat and discusses with them and find out what is the real computing need. Today I'm making software based on presumptive needs. Largely presumptive. Even if I call a conference, 1 Gram Panchayat fellow will come from West Bengal, 1 will come from Tamil Nadu, 1 will come. They will give me some input, but it's very limited. It's very limited. Unless I have a larger audience, the ownership will not be taken by them. And that fellow also gets transferred. If I have you guys sitting there, and I ask you in Moradabad, please do the local SRS preparation, or I ask you in Rajasthan to do in Jhunjhunu district, or somewhere else, I will have ample proof. State government can't say that no, software अच्छा नहीं बना है, तो आप लोगों ने discuss ही नहीं किया, आपने बना दिया कुछ, अब बता रहे हैं data entry करो. Because this lack of ownership emerges because of lack of consultation. Consultation जितना ज़्यादा होगा end user के साथ, आप ही लोगों ने पढ़ाया है. उतना ही SRAs बढ़िया बनेगी और उतना ही बढ़िया सॉफ्टवेयर बनेगा। तो इन सब कामों में हमें इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस की मदद और उसके लिए प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार करना पड़ेगा। आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनी अल्टरनेट टू इंजीनियरिंग वॉच एंड दे हैव टू प्ले दिस रोल। आई एम गिविंग दीज सजेशंस इन इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी दैट when America, Europe, Australia, such a strong, today IIT gets funding. And let me also tell you, if I take IITs and NIITs, they won't come to government money. Because for them, they already have a money, either government funded money or from the industry. A lot of funding is there, so they won't come for my 20 lakhs project. If I want to associate to you, to Punjab Engineering College, IIT won't take 20 lakhs for them. I mean, why will they subject to the intensive monitoring of the government? But certainly, the people who are looking for initiation for the beginning, they wouldn't mind. If today a project trainee and an IC comes and we pay him 1,500 rupees, the seats are limited. So we can't take everybody. When the college, engineering college in last semester, 6 months project comes, I give him a seat, I give him a computer. The cost of that is 20,000 rupees. So in fact, I'm investing on him 20,000 rupees plus 1,500 token money to him. That is the investment I am doing. I can get away by doing that investment if I give it to you. I can give back the same money, if not on the commercial term. Let it remain the non-commercial in nature. Let us maintain the piousness of the relation. I respect faculty. I give him that, okay, I'll give you I'm just quoting 5,000 or X amount or Y amount per month. You involve 10 students, I'll give them 3,000 rupees per month. You select the student, give me the resumes of them, that these are the people, give me their bank account so that the money is assured. We have to have some checks and balances. College must sign MOU with government so that ultimately college becomes responsible. Tomorrow faculty leaves this college, goes somewhere else, somebody has to be accountable. Those government will ask because the audit is everywhere, right? So we have to have that, and I pass on the money. You do the local. I intimate my client that these are the people who will be doing this job. Please interact them. Come back, give me the report, game is over. Why can't we build simple without tendering? Somebody was mentioning tender, you were mentioning tender, why can't you bid? That is too far. I am just saying, why, let us begin with the government affiliated universities. If we don't want to, all the colleges which are affiliated with the government universities, we should open with that. If you want to open only with IIT and IIT, it may not be possible because they may not respond because they have huge fund. These people, these students who will work on such project with NIC or with anybody else CDAC, they will be writing in their resume. They will know the kind of employment condition they will be expecting, and when they apply to me I would be happily taking them because he has worked 6 months, 8 months, 1 year on my project or similar NIC project. So he understands the demand. This is what is the need of the day, and I request the audience and the Engineering Watch to take these there can be many more suggestions. This has to be taken forward if our faculty has to be given better platform, better visibility, and that will also help you in publishing paper. Today, the contribution from India, in 27 years, I have published probably 25 papers, and 25 papers out of that, international peer-reviewed journals are only 7. I feel very bad. While I'm claiming I'm doing a lot of innovation job, I'm reviewed to the 2 international journals based on 7 papers, but I'm not able to contribute because I don't have time to write. And the people working below me do not have orientation. See, they're slogging day in, day out in the software development, monitoring, meeting client requests. We need a fresh look, relaxed look, which don't take it otherwise, which I feel faculty has got it. You can reflect back. You have free hours. Whether this piece is worth reporting, this piece is worth publishing. We cannot do that job. We don't have time. Come to CGO complex and I'll show you, like say, machine. Recruitment is stopped, job is increasing, conditions are worsening. How many people you can take on contract? We don't outsource the work. We take people on contract and get it done under our supervision. There are 2 modes of software development, but we prefer this one. then strategic control remains with us. If you outsource the entire software development, it becomes very difficult to understand design, development, and artifacts. So I'll stop here. I think, I don't know, I've crossed the limit. But these are the training. 250,000 panchayat. We have made a e-panchayat suite, panchayat enterprise suite. First time in a country, enterprise resource SAP kind of thing has been made for panchayats. It can be used by gram panchayat, it can be used by block panchayat, it can be used by jilla panchayat. There are 600 jilla panchayats, 6,000 block panchayat, 240,000 gram panchayats. They can all use it, single instance. It has 10 modules. Okay, area profiler, panchayat accounting, planning software, implementation reporting, asset directory, training module, and service delivery. They have their website also. We have made 250,000 websites using first in-house, and now we are using Liferay, which generates where each gram panchayat, because they will not have programmers, so they can change the color, code, layout, theme, content, language without writing a single line of code. They can have their own distinct URL as well. No, but somebody need to tell. Yesterday I was delivering a lecture in Delhi College of Engineering. Of course, that is not my job, but one of NICN has joined as a professor there, and he was requesting that please come and share your experience with MBA's students. So I went to Delhi College of Engineering, and the young boys and girls, and they said, "Sir, आप बता रहे हो इतना काम हो गया है, हमें तो पता नहीं है, गांव में कैसे पता होगा?" I said, "Absolutely right. Absolutely. Transparency does not mean that if I give him a Hebrew document and I say I am making it publicly available, I give a Hebrew document to all of you, this is transparent." But it has no meaning. You can't access it, you can't read it, you can't understand it. So while all these URL websites, Government of India or anybody for that matter, good job. Making information public is very good job, but please ensure, we have to also ensure that the internet cafes and digital literacy, normal literacy is also available. Thanks to, again, engineering colleges admissions, BA, B.Ed counselings, now this knowledge is trickling down in youngsters of our country. Because largely they come from rural areas, तो उन्हें पता है कि result निकलना है तो website देखनी है, counseling करना है तो website देखनी है, BA की करनी है तो teacher की recruitment. So large, these are the channels which are trickling down. So may not be their parents, at least the next generation would know कि किसी internet cafe पे जाके हम अपने गांव की website देख सकते हैं. आज नहीं पता है. But we need people who can do this. Why every engineering college cannot set up nearby panchayats to do this job? It will help you in information gathering, requirement gathering, again SRS. Our story begins from the requirement gathering. We are not clear, and 40% project, it's an internet research, 40% project fails because requirements were not gathered properly. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity to share in a nutshell some of our experience. In case you have some queries, please fire, which in any way was encouraged by him.
A lot of queries have been for the last 48 weeks. Now is the time to actually show them some of them. And so we request you to introduce yourself as well. That will help.
Hello, good morning. Myself Suvit Karma, heading the Department of Information Technology from Bharat Institute of Technology at Junaid. So it's a nice platform for all the engineering colleges, because as far as the private engineering colleges are concerned, they don't have this kind of opportunity, because in what I learned from the engineering colleges, because I have spent 13 years in engineering colleges, because their funding is a problem. We have to approach or honor that, always see that what benefits we are achieving in terms of students, in terms of monitoring. So my question to you is, how we can approach the local administration, to what extent that we are getting this kind of projects from the NIC side, from the administration side, what is the procedure for working there?
See, that's what honor permits you to do that. If you are L1, you get it, otherwise namaste. The B is based on MOU where your credentials are established, and there is another government body standing behind you, not Lala. Who says, no, no, I am with them, I have credentials to them. You can enter into an MOU and you can go ahead. You have to adopt one of the route.
So I would like to just add upon one thing, with sir's permission, like funding has been a critical component everyone is asking for, but the basic spirit behind this eGov campus program is already the students have funded the entire institution. They are meant to work for 8 semesters on a project, and students have all the free time of the world. We used to say in our campus time कि भाई सारा free time है. So in order to implement, in order to take a program definition, instead of doing a project on steganography, which everyone is doing in all the campuses, hiding some data which is of no use, if that latent and dormant time of the student and the faculty which is already mandated by the university, we can start from there. I think a capacity building, if it starts, and then sir is saying like, then this eGov campus is somewhere building up that platform where projects or roles or work can be then given away to the credible campuses which have developed the capacity. Now out of the 77 campuses which participated, only 24 of them have given me the state of eGov campus at their campus report. So it is trickling down. So I think probably this phase will, funding I think should first of all come into the functional way. Once the capacity is building, then I think enough money is there with the government. NIC sir is saying like he is more than willing to give it, whatever he is giving to the contract people, it will come to the campuses. I think capacity building is the first thing which we have to focus on.
I'm only saying, I would like to correct. We are willing, what we are saying is, there is a possibility. But the government has to work out in a government, any mechanism which we propose or which outsider propose has to be vetted by the finance. So there is a possibility of working out a scheme that under this scheme, we have the department, our department has a scheme to help NGOs, to electronic industry, to NASSCOM. You can't become a part of NASSCOM. Okay, you are not a commercial organization, you are primarily an academic, and for you doing this is only a part-time activity. So you need a platform to raise your voice, to work out a new way of engagement. Tender is one route, which is anyway, I told you, right? Thank you.
See, my question is, there's some you spoke about this MOU between college and MSc. So how can we approach for that?
Not between NIC, with the government. Mind my words.
Yeah.
MOU, NIC can be one, CDAC could be another. So you can't be going every institute. It has to be taken at the department level. At the department level, you cannot sign, individual colleges cannot sign. You can sign, but it has to be worked out a standard MOU. That no department is going to talk to 200 colleges. It has to be talked to a platform. Platform will have to represent to you. Today, if I want to get some work done with the private companies, I talk to NASSCOM. And they represent, and a common template is evolved. Those who are willing to, then they can sign. But the first of all, scheme has to worked out. That's what I have already given them an MPhil input, but they have to take it up. They have to advocate, they have to act as a platform to raise your voice.
So in fact, this entire exercise had been going on to take on that confidence to advocate it properly at the ministry level. Like the work which has been submitted to us, as I said, and in the later part of this session, we will be sharing, like, because there is a lot of that credence angle. Like sir said, there is a possibility, but how many campuses are actually willing to come? Because there is a lot of issues. Because academia mein problem ये आता है कि भाई we have to open the labs a bit later for the students, bandwidth, technical issues. That's why eGov campus program, we had set out a very elaborate nomination form. Are you willing to extend your, first of all, the thing has to come from the campus part of it. Government and the agencies are willing and they are standing to support. But I think the first thing which has to be shown is from the campus, which will happen.
Yes, sir.
I am R.C. Bharani from Bhagwan Bhaskar Institute of Technology. We have lot of resources available. My request to NIC and engineering one, please give us some projects so that we can recruit our students to work on that, and we provide all free services. My students will be learning, my faculty will be supporting them, and you will get your job done free of cost. That's my request to engineering one.
I've been hearing a lot of time, but this is truly a win-win situation for everybody.
Last time also there was some function organized by the engineering branch. They said there will be a workshop and we will be identifying some projects where engineering institutions can work, and we are still looking forward to some beautiful projects where we can give some work to our students, they can be, their skills can be utilized.
Yeah.
Enormous.
No. We all recognize that. We all recognize they can work in evening, they can work night. It is their problem. Institute.
Give us 50 projects, we go to these students to identify some of the projects where we can work on them.
That is what I am saying. They have to go to the department with this conceptualization. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Actually, faculty is normally not in habit of asking questions. They are in habit of answering it. Which university?
This is AIT University.
Okay.
Basically, from the last 2-3 years, we are contributing, we are part of the e-governance, but we are facing the problem that we don't have a very clear regulation with the higher or state level, or the state level. Sometimes we want some information related to the state or maybe what are the different parameters we can focus as to contribute to the part of the e-governance. So, they should be some formal way. We should inform the district information officer, yes, we as a private organization or we are the members, we want to contribute something, definitely they should support us. So, they should be...
That Chan, we are, this is a dialogue.
We are facing a big problem, that kind of problem.
And probably this collective initiative as suggesting this platform which is taking shape, and we are meeting Dr. Rajan Kumar this Monday. And
Rajan Kumar is a very right person. He is a joint secretary and they must put this proposition.
2-3 times we were to communicate with the higher authority, because so many times we visiting the review. Because personally, actually, I love to go to the local people, my youth are wanted to ask to travel, so we actually take what are the problems. So we don't have any schools in the higher authority. So we like very transparent, we should inform them, we are also contributing, we are also part of these kind of the things. So that we are...
So we will inform our DIO only when there is a scheme and there is an engagement approved administratively at senior level. I mean, that has to be discussed at a secretary level. It has to be approval. The government may approval, unless that engagement is cleared. It should not be. It has not been taken up. I am saying once they take it up and they show the voices of the faculty members, resolution of these kind of conferences, department will take. Only thing is, as long as you propose it non-commercial, it will get its route simply. Only notional amount of money. Even we were discussing, and now some of us keep discussing that if such an engagement offers, tomorrow the college will say, hey, give me money to buy Oracle, give me money to buy TV2. We said, no, this is out. You must take a project for which you have system development tools already, or do it on open source, right? So we will not fund. We will give you, we were discussing that we should give only a token amount to the faculty and token amount to the student. Let us begin with small. More confidence we gain, we categorize the colleges that they are trustworthy colleges, their work is good, they are paying attention to the quality. Then we take them to the grade A, grade B, grade C, but let us begin with the token amount. The satisfaction and the credit which faculty will get and the student will get by writing in their resume will be phenomenal, I'm telling you. Industry will welcome them. Today, the engineering colleges, engineering graduates are loitering around. Majority of them do substandard work or at substandard salary, which can be stopped, at least good ones. There will be always a bad apples, nothing can be done on that.
Good morning, sir. I am Rishikesh Mohammed, heading the Department of Information Technology at RCC Institute of Information Technology in Kolkata. Coincidentally, our college, when it was set up, it was under NIC actually. And presently, we are a technical college, that is the World Bank project. and we are one of the 17 TECHIP colleges in West Bengal. So under the TECHIP requirements, we have a IIIC cell, that is the Industry Institute Interaction Cell, and I am also the convener of that cell. So presently we are looking at having some MOUs with the industries and some of the government organizations so that we can take up some projects which can be implemented by both our faculty as well as the students. So I think this is a very good platform for us, and also what I like to say is that we need the starting point. So the starting point has to be first defined, and the projects where we can work on has to be mutually worked out so that we can put forward our proposals or something so that we can eventually start the work. So we are presently looking at that.
I would like to actually add on answer to
He didn't ask anything, it was observation.
just a suggestion and opinion on that.
Hi, my name is Udaya Singh and I'm from Austin So actually, based on everybody's sessions and opinions, I believe that this group has already been formed. So it's not a one-way forum like everything should happen from engineering or everything should happen from the college side. So I think in last couple of months, since engineering watch started this program of awareness. So we have been continuously reading the district administration and discussing every different administration level. So I believe and I think that every other college who participating over here, they are also doing the same thing. So we all are getting something or other from every from every meeting which we are doing with the administration. So finally, if we see like something like I get from district administration and I'm getting some kind of small project, for example, of the district administration, we got an audit of the prison management system. So you get something out of that. So once you deliver that, you build that kind of confidence in them. So similarly, likewise, other states or other people are also working at various levels. So if we discuss all those things which we are doing at our level, in our explicitly at our level, if we discuss those things, internally over here in these kind of forums, maybe the next time the route would be like from that district level, talking to that district administrator, there would be a link establishment can happen across districts. So there are chances that if we discuss these things in these kind of forums, where so many engineering colleges are involved, so there could be some linkages. By showing these kind of outputs, there could be some kind of linkages which can be said. So this would be a starting point from where we can get some kind of project. This is my
No, nothing stops you in doing that at district level. What we are saying, why don't you take it at PAX level and get it cleared for all people under certain conditions. Otherwise, as a beginner, don't mind my words. As a beginner, as a faculty member, you will have to literally beg the district administration. And that will deteriorate your own position and may lead to unpleasant demands and many other things. So let's work out if there's a common demand across the country, if industry feels it, government feels it, why can't we come out with a single scheme? But nothing stops you. If you have a good relation with the district collector or good relation with the district agriculture officer and he has to do some software development and you have a good rapport with him, you can do so. Fine. We are here talking about a larger framework where everybody can be fit in if the government of India, because major money is going from government of India. Yes.
So
My name is Abhishek Jain from Arya College of Arya College in Jaipur. So my question is, it is very hard to answer sometimes that our college is e-governance college. So e-governance. So every time a student asks me, so our college is e-governance college, what is the benefit of it? And is there any possibility for the student to come for the project work to NIC?
So we have a training.nic.in a portal, and every year twice in a year we ask for engineering colleges to submit the top 3. I think some rule is there. Top 3 students in a computer science and information technology. Top 3, not necessarily they are topper. The one who are recommending to NIC, 3 names can be recommended, right? And we undergo selection criteria, and we take them for 6 months projects, and MCA or MSc or BTech, and we pay them a stipend. But the seats are very limited, so we do it on rotations. One time Arya College, another time some Ghaziabad college, so different colleges, but we have a good coverage. We take people.
Who can this name?
4th year student, who recommends principal or dean will recommend. Dean, there is a format given there. Everything is your training.nic.in, please. You can recommend. People are placed at Delhi, also at Jaipur NIC, or we don't place right now at DIO district level, but state NIC and the Delhi. Those channels are already open, but that's a very few intake, limited.
I would like to add upon that first, Abhishek sir's question was the eager campus. See, the idea was, like as sir said, empaneled colleges, competent colleges who can come forward and do some project work as sir was envisaging. Just in the e-panchayat domain, there are 250,000 panchayats. Now we
have no training agency to conduct training program on this Panchayat Enterprise Suite, I am telling you. There are 2 agencies which are empaneled with our system, and they are ready to give us the faculty up to if the training is at the state capital. So we call district level people, 2 people per district, call them at state level, they get training. Now those are government staff, उनका कुछ काम अलग है, फोकस अलग है, प्रायोरिटी अलग है. 2 दिन आके वो भोपाल में बैठ के सीख गए, और उनसे अपेक्षाएं ये होती है कि वो जाके जिले में ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम करेंगे. तो जिले में ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम करने से पहले उनके पास प्रॉब्लम होती है कि they don't have the lab, then they are not spared that much time to act as a faculty. 2 दिन में उनके कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर नहीं होते हैं. And this is a recurring training program. ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार हो गया, people get transferred, new people join. So नहीं. We are looking for agency who can take this job in 2 ब्लॉक में एक जितनी पंचायतें हैं उनकी सबसे बड़ी वैल्यू पर आइडियल ट्रेन एंड आइडियल ट्रेन प्रोविजन टाइम से नहीं है. और बेस्ड ऑन द डिमांड एनी टाइम प्रोडक्टिव टू देयर काम, जैसे पंचायत राज ऑफिसर रिकमेंड है और मैं उनको 2 बजे बात नहीं करता हूं, तो मिल गया सम सॉर्ट ऑफ अरेंजमेंट. यू कैन डू दिस, doing this at district level will be difficult because funds will not be there. Doing it at state level is still easier. You can talk to the panchayat department. But normally government giving the work to somebody is either it's a vendor route or it is a government institution route, then they can sign the MOU. And that is why I said the government colleges affiliated with the government university. That can be given up. Universities like Bharati University or Vivekananda University or X University, MIT University, they can wait. Let us begin our experiment. So the government will find it easier to do a MOU with government university and extend it to the all colleges affiliated. I mean, this is a suggestion. I do not know. When we approach the department people, government may or may come up with a different department. Administrators have their own ways and means to make things faster.
So there are not many private colleges going to university.
They should be covered. They should be covered.
They have lack of resources.
No, we all of us are repeating. Moot point is that we want to utilize this election, but we have to make the election. We have to make the election. Right?
why do we always require the MOU signed? The reason why I say this is
दारजी सरकार की अपनी शर्तें होती हैं काम करने की.
the reason why I say this
Sir,
is
इसका जवाब
sometimes zone level or district level, there are certain areas, which are, they have some problem, they are facing with some kind of problem, and they don't even need solution. So, we don't want the MOUs to be signed, we can at least figure out the area, this is the problem area, which they have. And they are studying for it, and somebody is developing the solution for it, and that solution might come after 1 year. So, you can develop a software, or for example, say, AI for business management. So, somebody out there is developing
I am due for another meeting. Last.
will come up 2 years. Why don't you straight away develop a solution and give them? You don't know that, you don't know anything about that. You just see that solution, that is for our college, it's an easy one. If a student is developing that, a student is developing it. So if you feel that, then at that point of time, that student or
Sorry for interruption. I have to go somewhere else. But the short answer is, it is not only money. You have developed, tomorrow another college will say, I have also developed the same solution. Why are you taking their solution? Why not my solution? A. B. Intellectual property right issues. Even if you give free of cost to the government, today you are giving IPR free, tomorrow you will go to the court saying that government has used my intellectual property and I should be compensated with $1 billion. C. I mean, it never ends. Maintenance. One time you have given source code and running version, government will want a few customization to be done. You will start minting money out of it. You'll say, I gave the original source code free, but now I will charge this because my student chala gaya. I have to teach somebody else because students is not a permanent resource. They are permanent only for 4 years. He will leave. Next student will say, मैं नहीं काम करता, मेरा नहीं है, आप कहोगे अब मैं कहाँ से support करूँ? But the district administration will be high and dry. So there has to be a formal SLA. I am not using word SLA. There is an alternate for it, memorandum for understanding. कि भाई अगर आप हमें दोगे तो ये आपकी वचनबद्धता है, ये आपका कमिटमेंट है, आप पीछे नहीं हटोगे. तो ऐसी चीजों पे थोड़ा समझौता.
that should come after, that should come as second stage. At this point of time, we are doing the groundwork. So if we are doing something now, that would build the rapport, and then from there we can say that yes, this kind of software or this kind of critical engineering we can do. And then if those people like those things, and then from that you can take.
No groundwork begins without paperwork done. मजदूर को आप मजार से लेने जाते हो अपने घर में काम कराने के लिए, उसको बोलते हो 9 बजे आना, 5 बजे जाओगे, आधा घंटे की छुट्टी होगी, खाना नहीं मिलेगा, 130 रुपए 230 रुपए मजदूरी एक दिन की मिलेगी. These are ground condition. Work has not started. You have to lay down. These are the contract. राय पेपर में लिख लो, इसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बोलो, MOU बोलो, बट कोई काम नहीं हो सकता है. मैं इन्होंने अगर मुझसे बात नहीं की होती तो मैं 10:30 10 बजे नहीं आता. You have to have basic understanding. वो basic understanding सरकार में पेपर पे इसलिए आती है कि वो आज DC मिश्रा हैं. I may get transferred tomorrow. Somebody else will come. He says कि मुझे तो पता ही नहीं क्या है भाई, ये तो पता नहीं किसने कहा था इनसे बना के ये बना के ले आए, मुझे नहीं चाहिए. I don't need it. आप कहोगे मेरा टाइम खराब कर दिया, मैंने इतनी अच्छी चीज बनाई. So there has to be a minimum understanding, common platform, right? So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for making it to this faculty workshop. We would like to, I request my colleague Ravi to hand over a token of thanks for making it to this occasion.
The greatest thank is to give me an opportunity to talk to so many faculty members.
And we will be taking a lot of questions in the subsequent phase of this workshop. Ravi.
Sir.
See, there is a record.
I think the beginning has been made and sir has really shown us the way, and it is only 48 weeks, not even a semester. So I think the faculty will allow us a semester to settle down. I just gave you the metrics to begin with, that 77 colleges registered for the eager campus. 35 of them gave their faculty members. And out of the 35 colleges faculty members, we have received these reports of only 24 campuses per se. And after going through these elaborate reports of 24 campuses, there is a whole lot of reflection. We have to really understand and come to a common understanding. And I think this is thanks a lot sir for, and this is a common understanding which we have to develop and understand. Because excitement, enthusiasm, energy is great. In fact, there is so much of work in this country, like all the 4,500 engineering colleges. If they take on a mission mode project, like after the World War II when President Eisenhower said to the US Army, कि भाई लग जाओ और पूरे US के highways बना दो. That's why US is such a grand highway network. So even if these 14.54 lakh engineering students, they really yeah, I will just come to the mic. They are deployed out there. I am just coming to the next phase of this workshop. We invited Mr. DC Mishra to just give us a snapshot, a whole word view as to how government thinks. So I want to now take you through the real mother of all these e-governance programs in this country, which is called as the National E-Governance Plan. Now the National E-Governance Plan was launched on May 11th, 2006. The Honorable Prime Minister reviewed the whole plan just a month back, and this plan has around 31 mission mode projects. It started with 27 mission mode projects, and NIC is the premier agency. It is the premier IT organization of the government of India which actually executes these IT projects for government, and they are really doing a fantastic job, a fabulous job. And he was humble to say a lot much. Yesterday we were there at NIC headquarters. We said that this office really needs a fantastic workspace to be housed. Like the Central Bureau of Investigation has got a spacious campus. So on the positive space, why not an NIC should get an equally formidable campus to take its work. So the idea is NIC, for that matter, is lined up with all the 100 odd Government of India ministries and departments, and they are catering to all their IT requirements. And they just are 3,000 odd people, while in Infosys is, you can understand, 2 lakh plus employees they have got. Because there are challenges, and these determined people, 16 deputy director generals, they are heading. I will just take you through the entire journey, because this is orientation. We are not training you. How can we train the trainers? The whole learning and the whole research will come from the campuses. And after going through these reports, a fabulous work is going on for sure. And sir, all your concerns, all your anxieties, it will really come to a thing. But taking so many people together and making a policy, I tell you, we guys at Engineering Watch had to fight tooth and nail to make it happen. Nobody believed us on 23rd of June. These many campuses, even that time Shankar Agarwal Saab came, Dr. Rajendra Kumar came, all those people came to give you the felicitation. They said, chalo, ek aur certificate dena hai, de denge. And they had registered all their voices in these books. But these 4 months continuously, constantly, we have been trying to win their confidence that our campuses can make it happen. As sir rightly said, I come from IIT Kharagpur. I graduated in the year 2003. So they say that IITs and IITs, they're not concerned. Unke liye Facebook, Google, the whole lot of new age kind of development they are looking for. They are very limited. The orientation is not there. I was appalled when I saw dedicated to the service of nation. I used to ask my professor over there, Professor P.P. Chakravarti, who is now the director of IIT Kharagpur, sir, kitna dedicated of service of the nation ho raha hai? Hamare 50 ke batch mein se 48, 49 to bhari chale jate hain. It's just launching pad to the US. We are supplying to their industrial and energetic mind. और वहाँ से लौट के 1 रुपए की चीज 100 रुपए में हमारे को मिलती है. That is how our current account deficit is bloating. All this, you will be appalled to know कि in the year 2012 alone, 30